Welcome to another episode of Wham Baam Gamercam, full of crazy car crashes from various video games. Grab your snacks, hit the like button, and enjoy. Exotality was driving at around 200 kilometers per hour down a highway in Belasco. He was passing all cars, even through the right lane. Suddenly, while he was flying through slower lanes, one of the drivers merged into the exit, blocking Exotality's path. He managed to avoid the car, but he lost control and rear-ended a gray sedan at 211 kilometers per hour before he started rolling over. His Mercedes was totaled. I'm shocked by the damage it caused to his vehicle. Jamie was driving his Comet in Los Santos when suddenly, a car failed to yield to him and he T-boned it before he flew through the windshield. Incredibly, his character stood up without any injuries. This submitter sent us his clip from an Italian highway. He was driving a Suzuki when he approached a construction site in the left lane. As he was driving around, a white van merged from the merging lane into his lane, pushing him into the construction site. There, he rear-ended a mixer truck. His vehicle was severely damaged with the body totally bent, making it a total loss. This submitter was a police officer in GTA 5. He was chasing down a cyclist riding a stolen bike. As the cyclist pulled over, our submitter got out of his car. The 60-year-old woman then tried to flee. He quickly caught up to her, pushing her off the bike before he arrested her. Noah was driving on the snowy highway in Utah. Suddenly, he saw stopped vehicles in his path. He slammed on the brakes in the hope of at least lowering the impact, and he smashed into the vehicles. Don't forget, folks, once the road is snowy, you'd better drive slower. Nanomisk was driving in a foggy and snowy area. Suddenly, two drivers overtook him, and they clearly had the same poor visibility. Sadly for them, the second crashed with an oncoming vehicle, causing both cars to wreck into a ditch. Thankfully, both cars missed our submitter. That one band kid was driving a school bus in Belasco. He was driving in the right lane when suddenly a pickup truck driver stopped and merged from the left lane after missing an exit. He blocked our submitter's lane, causing a major wreck after our submitter T-boned him at around 60 miles per hour. Samuel J. Tander parked his car at the side of the Tsukuba Fruits Line Road to go on a walk. The roads were covered with ice and snow when suddenly, a taxi got rear-ended by a Nissan Terrano that lost traction and wasn't able to slow down due to the icy road. The Nissan then lost control and drove into a ditch. The driver of the Terrano fled the scene but was eventually caught by the police. Grayson was driving down a road when he saw a jump. He decided to do the jump, landing it at first. What happened next is shocking. He landed the first jump, but then he attempted a second jump. The second jump was unfortunate, as he started rolling over right after landing. Grayson was passing cars at high speed in his Audi RS7. As he went off-road, he lost traction and sideswiped a car. After that, he spun out and hit a sedan head-on. Both vehicles were severely damaged and totaled. Marlon was driving a bus down a highway. He was exiting the highway to connect to another route. As he approached a merging road, a Mercedes van driver failed to yield to him. It sideswiped Marlon's bus before they stopped. What are these NPCs thinking? Lucas Biss was driving in Car Crushers 2. He was driving at high speeds when he approached a curve. He wanted to make a drift, but he lost control and crashed into a tree at over 250 kilometers per hour. Oxrio was street racing in a Koenigsegg Jesko 2019. He was doing 480 kilometers per hour when he saw a car ahead of him. He wanted to push it off the road, and as he looked behind, suddenly he rear-ended a car that was driving in the right lane. Guys, slow down, you are dangerous! Oh wait, don't, or we will run out of content. Drive dangerously, but only in video games. David Eaton was driving a BMW X5 on the highway, sliding through traffic. He was doing pretty well for a long time, but suddenly an epic moment happened. As he was about to overtake a gray sedan, it merged into his lane, causing him to hit it before he lost control and crashed into another car. That car flew into the oncoming lanes of the highway, where it caused some mayhem in the background. Alexander was leaving a gas station when he failed to yield to an approaching vehicle. But thankfully, he just nearly missed it and continued his crazy ride. Sadly, that ended with a head-on collision. The aftermath was both cars being totaled. That one band kid attempted another crazy stunt. Was this one any better? Yes, he managed to do a perfectly smooth landing. Skyline 1957 was driving a Nissan GTR in the city, driving at high speeds. He almost crashed multiple times before he approached an intersection. There was a police car coming from the right. He turned left and crashed into a school bus. It all happened right in front of the police car. Mason was driving in Rutas Argentinas, chasing an SUV. They were driving like maniacs. Everything was going well until a sharp curve appeared. The SUV managed to slow down, but Mason crashed into it at high speed, pushing it off the road. Terry Lamb was racing in a futuristic race car. Look at those wings helping him slow down. All that is great, but after he went through a narrow road, his car flew into the air before it rolled over multiple times. Simon was driving his ETK in Italy. He went into a small residential area at high speed before he lost control and crashed into a guardrail. Al Doss was driving in Texas in his undercover police car. He was patrolling on the highway, minding his own business. Suddenly, a BMW 5 Series merged from the left into the right lane, causing a collision involving Al Doss. Al Doss pulled over and turned on his police lights while the BMW driver tried to flee. Ramiz was driving his Tesla Model Y. He was waiting at a red light when he saw a new Mustang that spun out and crashed head-on with a vehicle in front of Ramiz. Ramiz pulled over to inspect the collision. GV Cars was driving his Ford. He pulled behind two street racers. When he caught up to them, one of them pit maneuvered his vehicle. Our submitter crashed into a ditch before he finally stopped. This submitter sent us a clip of a crazy overtake. He was casually driving when an SUV overtook him before it lost control and spun out into a ditch. The SUV rolled over multiple times before it came to a complete stop. '09 Rad Boy was driving on the Belasco Coast area. As he approached an intersection, a driver failed to yield to him. Our submitter merged to avoid the vehicle, but he crashed into other vehicles in the intersection. He hit two SUVs waiting to merge onto the main road. This submitter was driving at a crazy high speed in his electric sports car. He was approaching an intersection at 160 miles per hour when suddenly an oncoming vehicle was turning through the intersection. Our submitter crashed into the car before he lost control and crashed into the rocks on the side of the road. This submitter was driving at night down a highway when he stopped due to a car collision in his lane. Suddenly, he got rear-ended by an approaching vehicle, which pushed him into the vehicles in front of him. Zach was driving off-road in the mountain area. As he approached a curve, he tried to drift. Sadly, his car slid and he fell off the hill and rolled over multiple times. Silk Ice Brother created this epic clip of cars versus a tornado in BeamNG Drive. We have a first-person experience of a bus being lifted by a tornado. This would be very scary in real life. Don't try it at home, guys. This submitter was driving his green coupe in Car Crushers 2. Suddenly, a police officer started shooting at his vehicle, causing major damage. It disabled our submitter's car before he got out and had to respawn.